With today's huge showdown on Capitol Hill, the Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, the FBI Director Christopher Wray appearing before the House Judiciary Committee, where they were absolutely grilled by members of Congress. It was a beatdown. We have so many highlights to bring you tonight, including the worst moments from the very short-tempered, extremely pompous Rod Rosenstein, who I'm told doesn't like me. Now, the Deputy AG is continuing to obstruct the U.S. House of Representatives and their subpoenas in its efforts to check and do their constitutional duty and investigate actions by the FBI and the DOJ. Now, House Republicans are fighting back hard. Contempt, impeachment tonight is very much on the table. And also tonight, America's left is ramping up, as I predicted, their disgusting rhetoric, political tactics ahead of the 2018 midterms, and some are actually trying to forcibly shut down immigration and custom enforcement offices across the country. Others are calling for the complete abolition of ICE. Meanwhile, many in the media, well, as we also predicted, a full mental psychotic breakdown over the news that Justice Anthony Kennedy is retired. Now, it's been a very bad week for Democrats. Sit tight. We've got all of this and so much more, and we're following all the details out of Annapolis, Maryland in our breaking news opening monologue. So for over a year, House Republicans have desperately been trying to conduct what is their constitutional oversight duties and properly investigate how the FBI and the DOJ handled, well, really mishandled, the Clinton server investigation. We know she committed felonies. We know she obstructed justice. And also the ongoing Russia collusion witch hunt and the FISA abuse, lying to FISA court judges to spy on an opposition party candidate in an election year. Now, sadly, their efforts, their document requests, their subpoenas, they have been met with nothing but obstruction and hatred, antipathy, and animus from the Deputy AG, who has a bad temper, Rod Rosenstein. And today, some of these House members had a rare opportunity to hold Rosenstein accountable right to his face. And it started with this powerful opening statement from House Judiciary Committee Chairman Bob Goodlatte. Take a look.
The recent Inspector General's report revealed bias in the top echelons of the FBI during a hotly contested presidential election. It revealed that FBI agents, lawyers, and analysts held profound biases against then-candidate Donald Trump and in favor of his opponent, Hillary Clinton. It is right out of a novel, with salacious, unverified dossiers, reports of informants that appear more like spies for the U.S. government, and application of the aforementioned surveillance powers to collect on a U.S. person once associated with President Trump's political campaign. But it's not a novel. It's real life.
Real life. Now, next, the very ill-tempered Rod Rosenstein, who, again, apparently doesn't like me. I can't imagine why. He was grilled by Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan over Rosenstein's blatant effort to hide important information from House investigators. Again, this is their constitutional job at oversight, separation of powers, co-equal branches of government. Look at this tense exchange. It's amazing.
Why are you keeping information from Congress?
Congressman, I am not keeping any information from Congress that it's appropriate.
In a few minutes, Mr. Rosenstein, I think the House of Representatives is going to say something different.
I don't agree with you, Congressman. I don't believe that's what they're going to say, and if they do, they'll be mistaken.
I disagree, but I think in a few minutes, the House of Representatives is going to go on record saying you haven't complied with requests from a separate and equal branch of government, that you haven't complied with subpoenas, and you got 7 days to get your act together. I think that's what's going to happen in a few. And that's not Jim Jordan. I think that's a majority of the House of Representatives. In just a few minutes, I think that's going to happen. And I want to know why you won't give us what we've asked for.
Sir, I certainly hope that your colleagues are not under that impression. That is not accurate, sir. And
it is accurate. We have caught you hiding
Mr. Chairman, can we allow the witness to answer?
Following that exchange, the House did, in fact, pass a resolution demanding that Rosenstein comply with the document requests in 7 days, or they do face the possibility, first, of contempt and even impeachment. And by the way, the president can demand at some point everything be handed over, and that will then be a matter of law. Now, in terms of the president has that power. One of the issues at play here, the House investigation into possible coordination between the Clinton campaign and the FBI's initiation of that so-called Trump-Russia, which we now know to be witch hunt. One of the small part of the scandal surrounds Bruce and Nellie Orr. Look right there, 2016. Nellie was conducting the op research for the Clinton campaign. Remember Fusion GPS? Right alongside ex-foreign spy, foreign national Christopher Steele, Visa Fusion GPS, all while her husband Bruce, a high-ranking DOJ official, was the federal government's point of contact for the same Christopher Steele. Now, Rod Rosenstein is saying he was totally unaware of the connection. Really? I don't believe that. Take a look.
You said earlier Bruce Orr was not working on the Russia investigation. Let me ask you, here's
my knowledge.
To your knowledge, did you not know that Bruce Orr was meeting with Christopher Steele, getting the information about the dossier and supplying that information to the FBI at the same time his wife Nellie was working for Fusion GPS that was helping Hillary Clinton? Did you not know he was doing that for the FBI?
Correct.
You did not know that?
Correct.
Okay, so he officed a couple of doors down, but you had no idea that he was actually the go-between to get that information.
Another key question was asked by Florida Congressman Ron DeSantis, and it's a question we have now been asking right here on this show for months. Why hasn't Rod Rosenstein recused himself from the Mueller witch hunt? Now, notice a lot of what you're hearing tonight should be recognizable to you because we have been reporting this for a long time, and it was all true. Take a look.
You appointed Mueller, you're supervising Mueller, and it's supposedly about collusion between Trump's campaign in Russia and obstruction of justice, but you wrote the memo saying that Comey should be fired, and you signed the FISA extension for Carter Page. So my question is to you, it seems like you should be recused from this more so than Jeff Sessions, just because you were involved in making decisions affecting both prongs of this investigation. Why haven't you done that?
Congressman, I can assure you that if it were appropriate for me to recuse, I'd be more than happy to do so and let somebody else handle this, but it's my responsibility to do it, and all I can tell you, sir,
then how do you have obstruction of justice possibility for a president exercising his powers to fire an FBI director that you said should be fired? And oh, by the way, the IG report makes it clear Jim Comey should have been fired. So why are we still doing this with the Mueller probe?
Sir, I am not commenting on what is under investigation by the Mueller probe, and to the best of my knowledge, neither is Mr. Mueller.
And here we are finally 407 long days into Mueller's fishing expedition. Congressman Trey Gowdy, South Carolina, confronting Rod Rosenstein with what we've all been thinking. Watch this from today.
Russia attacked this country. They should be the target, but Russia isn't being hurt by this investigation right now. We are. This country is being hurt by it. We are being divided. We've seen the bias. We've seen the bias. We need to see the evidence. If you have evidence of wrongdoing by any member of the Trump campaign, present it to the damn grand jury. If you have evidence that this president acted inappropriately, present it to the American people. There's an old saying that justice delayed is justice denied. I think right now all of us are being denied. Whatever you got, finish it the hell up, because this country is being torn apart.
Finish it the hell up. That's right. Bob Mueller, Weissman, Jeannie Ray, are you guys watching what you've done to the country, what you're doing to the country? Now, Rod Rosenstein, really? When does this witch hunt end? And Rod, it's your constitutional duty, checks and balances, co-equal branches, to provide members of Congress with the subpoenaed documents and information they need so they can do their job and check your department. In 7 days from today, if the DOJ continues this obstruction, I urge every single member of the House to now take action to, yes, move to contempt, and yes, impeachment. Enough is enough. Trey Gowdy was right. And, of course, many Democrats are just perfectly fine with DOJ obstruction. Their friends in the deep state have a lot to hide. Now, meanwhile, as Robert Mueller's witch hunt is producing literally zero evidence that the president ever did anything wrong, well, the people on the left, they are now predictably beginning to unravel. And their favorite new target, the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, that's doing the jobs that Congress passed, their laws. Now, throughout the week, hundreds of left-wing protesters, they, quote, occupied ICE offices all across multiple cities, forcing some to actually temporarily close their doors. And these demonstrators blocked entrances. They obstructed ICE employees. They attempted to camp out in front of the building. The Hill reported many protesters celebrated the news that their occupation actually prompted delays in some operations at the center. But, quote, this may result in some immigrants being detained for weeks longer than expected. Great job. Now, this all culminated today in Washington, D.C., where 575 people were arrested after literally storming the Hart Senate building. Now, multiple Democratic lawmakers, they were in attendance, including one congresswoman from Washington who was actually arrested. Now, sadly, this anti-ICE rhetoric from the left on TV is even far worse. Watch this.
I think there's no question that we've got to critically re-examine ICE and its role and the way that it is being administered and the work it is doing, and we need to probably think about starting from scratch.
I think we need to abolish ICE. That seems really clear. They have strayed so far from the interests of the American people and the interests of humanity. We need to abolish it.
Eliminating ICE, for instance, and President Trump.
Yes. ICE isn't doing what it was created to do. It's being used as his own personal police force, and in those actions, it's actually making us less safe.
Well, you heard us right. The left, Democrats in this country, literally want to abolish ICE, proving exactly what we now have been telling you for a long time. This election is the most important midterm in your life. And if Democrats win this November, this is what they're pushing for. I've been telling you, they want to impeach Donald Trump, but don't tell anybody. Keep it secret. Maxine, stop saying it. Next, they want to keep Obamacare. How's that working out for you? And, of course, they want to make sure that you get paid less. They're actually campaigning and saying publicly they want to repeal the Trump tax cut and raise your taxes. And, of course, as you see, they want open borders. They do not want a wall. And number 5, they want to destroy whoever the president picks to replace Justice Kennedy on the U.S. Supreme Court. No vision, no betterment of the American people at all. Democrats have no agenda, no real plan for improving this country, helping the forgotten men and women. So their playbook is all too predictable. It's the one they use every 2 and 4 years. A campaign to smear, slander, besmirch, assassinate the character of any Trump Republican and anyone who stands in their way. And we're already seeing this in the media after Justice Kennedy announced his retirement, as I predicted last night. Take a look.
If you are LGBTQ, if you are a person of color, if you are a woman, so basically if you are not a straight white male in America right now, you are probably freaking out.
We're looking at a destruction of the Constitution of the United States.
We're not screwed. We're actually screwed for generations.
Clean air and water that you use and breathe is at stake.
You're only 81. You know, they say 81 is the new 79. And don't tell me your mind's going, because I read Bush v. Gore and Citizens United. You never had one.
We are looking down the tunnel of potentially criminal liability for women who are seeking to make decisions about their own bodies.
It's time for Democrats to throw down. And what I mean by that is that we've been playing by the rule book, and Donald Trump and Republicans have been playing by street rules. We need to play by street rules.
Don't allow a vote on this. Don't have a hearing. Don't have a meeting. Don't let anything go forward. Don't play ball with this decision.
Oh, I told you. Now, if you think that's bad, it gets even worse. Look at this disturbing image from the Huffington Post. By the way, viewer warning, this is pretty disturbing. A clothes hanger with the words of "the end of Roe." Also, I predicted last night. Think that's bad? And there's Whoopi Goldberg over at ABC's hit show The View. Another viewer warning. What you're about to see and hear is pretty graphic. Take a look.
I don't like this line that I, as a Democrat or an independent or whatever, is trying to take away anything from you. I'm trying to hold on to my personal rights so that you can have the rights you want. See, because if you take mine, I feel like you the one with the problem. If you take my right away from me to judge what I do for my family and my body, I got a little problem with that. You got a problem. You don't want people to take your guns. Well, get out of my behind. Get out of my vagina. Get out.
Once again, the media lying about President Trump. The exact same tactics the left used against President Reagan and, as I showed you last night, Judge Robert Bork. The same kind of smear campaign used against Justice Clarence Thomas. All of this, and President Trump hasn't nominated anybody yet. And you better believe the tactics from the left are going to get much worse every day from now to Election Day. Let me just warn you, hold on tight, buckle up, and yeah, your voice needs to be heard in November. We're going to tell you all the key races. Now, without a doubt, this will be the most consequential midterm election in our lifetime. Now, coming up, we have Greg